Welcome to This Week at Little Hills. We've been following along, we've been doing a lot of words that are opposite of the fruit of the Spirit that's found in Galatians 5. What's amazing about this is that it's been helping me a lot in my walk also to search my own soul and see, am I always walking in the fruit of the Spirit? Remember, it's one fruit. So as we look at the opposite of the fruit of the Spirit, we're going to look at what comes from Galatians 5:19, which says the acts of the flesh are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity, and debauchery. And it goes on and names a few more, but we're going to stop at that one last word that I just said, debauchery, which translates for me, wickedness is another word. And this state is a mental state of a discard towards justice, righteousness, truth, and honor and virtue. Man, just plain disregard for all that. You could care less about justice or righteousness towards other or telling the truth. Any type of honor or virtue. It even says in Proverbs 4:17, which I think really drives it home. Proverbs 4:17 says, "For they eat of the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence." They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. We just think about that. They eat food of wickedness and just, they love it. They watch it on TV, listen to it. Anything that's exciting or bad or evil, they run to it. They like it. They're always, talking bad about people, or they're always, downing people. They're finding ways to get over on people. And then actually look at Psalm 7:14 states, "Behold, the wicked man conceives evil and is pregnant with mischief and gives birth to lies." This verse expressed the reality that the wicked person continually plans and carries out the acts of evils. He's always scheming around. The imagery of conception, if you think about it, pregnancy and birth highlights the process through which the wicked person generates and brings forth deceit and harm. It impregnates, it works on him, just like a baby works inside you and eventually grows and comes out, and then you have a human being, a boy or a girl there. But the same thing with the wickedness and evil of the person. How can I scheme? How can I get over this? How can I avoid what's right? How can I get around things? And maybe we're struggling with that in ourselves, because the flesh loves wickedness, and it actually says there's no God. In Psalms 10, it tells about the wickedness of a man. And in there we can find all kinds of stuff in the world. Child abduction, rape, deceitfulness, stealing, senseless killings, acts of adultery, sinful acts, sexual acts, violence towards others. Yeah, these are all harsh words. Okay, I think we really got the point. And I get tired of talking about it. It's just dark and gloomy. And the other day while I was riding my bike, which I like doing, I was thinking about, different forms of wickedness. And I drove across this field of sunflowers, not the one I have behind me in this picture, but it's up on a highway, I think B in North St. Charles area. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. And I thought, why would I would want to be in a place that has all this deceitfulness? And I can't stand it. I don't like it. You know why? Because there's a spirit in me. It gets unrestful. I'd rather sit and look at a field of sunflowers or a field of flowers, peaceful things, waterfalls. That's calming, that's peaceful, and that's what we need. Goodness, helping people out. So the psalmist, well, now we got to go back to it. I'm sorry. I can't just always talk about nice things. The psalmist describes two sides of the character of the wicked in Psalms 10:2 through 11. And I'm not going to read it all, but basically it's structurally, each description is about 5 verses long and ends with the inner thoughts of the unjust oppressor. It always usually starts off, he says in his heart. just like I talked about earlier with the and being impregnant with and giving birth. He's got it already inside of him, and he's waiting for a way to get it out. 2 words summarize the wicked oppressor: arrogant and aggressive. Their pride and violence spell disaster for everyone who stands in their way. And to go back to the list that I just gave. But maybe we could tone that down. Maybe we're not all that bad, but I'm sure there is still some sinful wickedness in us. We just really search. Evil shows itself often in verbal violence. I mean, we can speak verbally. We can tear people down with our tongue. In fact, the Apostle Paul quotes in Psalms 10:17 to show that everyone, Jew and Gentile alike, are under the the power of sin. It's in us. It's around us. It's in the world. Romans 3:14 also says it also. And James says it this way in the book of James: and the tongue is a fire, a word of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on the fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. That's where they're going. They have no sense of God, that God exists. All they care about is their self. All their pride builds up inside of them, and is scheming, see what evil way that they can to get towards us. So, aren't you glad that God doesn't strike us down every time we sin? Aren't you amazed at and blessed by his grace? Do you think this means that he doesn't know or doesn't care? Yes, he does. That's why we have grace. God is kind and patient with us, and he offers you every opportunity to turn away from your sin. Every time we go any part of these opposite of the fruit of the Spirit, God has grace and gives us the opportunity to turn away. We just got to make that decision. The wicked makes mistakes. So the godly recognize God's kindness and will run to him. And that's what we need to do. We need to run to him. Run to Christ. Matter of fact, you run to Christ on Sunday mornings or Sunday nights, where you can meet live with us at Little Hills Church. At 5:30 we meet, and that's the time we have the worship. The time we get together in fellowship and encourage one another. Break bread and have communion. Remember what Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. He took the penalty for us. We don't have to pay for it anymore. And then Monday nights, we have our Steadfast program also you can listen to, and we've been going through some really interesting subjects there. And just come and fellowship with us. And I hope you enjoyed this segment of This Week with Little Hills, and maybe the sunflowers lightened up the subject a little bit. Thank you, and you have a good day. God bless.